While preparing for our Southern Imbolc celebration, Glennis and I listened to Brian Swim's story about the nature of the human, and we found ourselves being pleasantly reminded about why we built this space we call PaGaian MoonCourt. So much so that we thought this would also be a good time to share some of Brian's amazing story with you.
What I've chosen as a symbol of what it means to be human has to do with the winter solstice. The winter solstice. What's the winter solstice? Shortest day of the year. Longest night of the year. Right? How would that have awakened within human awareness? Shortest day. Okay, so I said, I wake up one day, it's 40,000 years ago, and I say, you know, I'm convinced that this day is shorter than yesterday. And I have the sense tomorrow will be longer. Well, yeah, it has to do with the sun, right? Observation. But so what if I watch the sun? The sun was up the shortest time. It was up longer yesterday, and tomorrow it's going to be up longer. Today's the shortest day. You know, I have a watch. There was no watches. Sundial. Sundial. Yes, absolutely. Yes, yes. For what they recognized was what is happening as you approach solstice. Every day the sunrise changes. And as you're approaching solstice, how does it change? Every day the sun is coming up further south. Further south. Every day it's further south. And then all of a sudden it stops its journey south. It stops. There's no motion whatsoever. And then it starts back the other direction. So what? Okay, so it happened, right? And yet on every continent we find humans just amazed by this. They can't get over it. Well, you can say, okay, there's something like this, with this, you know, I got more important things to do. But there's something, and certainly it was the case that a lot of other species felt the same way, you know. Yet this one peculiar species starts building monuments around this event. Right here in our continent, you know, thousands of years ago, humans were gathering together and laboring, big rocks, you know, stacking them up, just to celebrate that moment. Now, life is often difficult, right? So imagine coming into a community and say, I know we have trouble with the food, getting the game and so forth, but I'd like a group of about 500 of you, and we're going to gather a bunch of stones up, and you see, there would be no way of explaining this in ways that pertain directly to things like, you know, catching the deer or growing the corn or whatever. So I'm saying there's something very peculiar in this event that we see everywhere, taking place all over the planet. I'm picking the winter solstice because but I could pick a number of different things. And so I'm saying this. Human species is that species that cannot get over the wonder of awareness. Cannot get over it. The sun is moving south every day, and suddenly it stops. So the first thing that bursts into human awareness is notice. What breaks into the deep feeling with the human is admire. There's no reason for it whatsoever. It's just a gripping fascination with being. And that's what it means to be human. When the moon died for the human, what happened? The moon disappeared. It got smaller and smaller, then it disappeared. Someone noticed that and couldn't get over it and dwelt on it. You see, reflected upon that, and all sorts of discoveries were made just by reflecting on the wonder of that. What does it mean to have the moon die, disappear, go into the dark, then suddenly have the moon born again? There's an activation of human consciousness that took place in the wonder of the moon. You see my point?